Welcome and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and everyone and everything in between. This is Roger That. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of October, 2022. And why am I getting backfeed? I should probably mute this. What the hell's going on? Okay, there we go. That's better. Still ironing out some technical difficulties, so we're working on it. We're working on it, kids. Hope everybody had a good week. We learned a lot this week about technology and putting everything together so it meshes and goes into the show, and I'm very excited about it. Unfortunately, we had the guest that was scheduled for tonight. This is my buddy Jay Christopher, very, very funny guy from New York, very good-looking individual. Unfortunately, he had to drop out last minute, which kind of made me sad, but I have my friend Esther Forrester is going to drop in a little bit later, and we're going to talk to her and interview her. She's a comedian from New York, as well as being a tennis instructor. Yes, tennis as the sport, tennis, like actual tennis. She has a business. We'll go through all of that in a little while, which I'm very interested to see that. So I appreciate everybody sticking around and coming back. And if you're, new to the show, if you've never seen the show, which you probably haven't, because this is the second week we're doing it. And the first week was, I guess the best way to describe it would be a Greco-Roman style clusterfuck. So if you're listening to the show on IRN, welcome. And thank you, Mike, for having us on the network. If you're watching this live on the YouTubes, welcome, and feel free to comment and interact. We like that kind of shit. So yeah, the fix from last week. So the issue I had last week is, let me start off by saying I'm just a caveman, and this technology frightens and confuses me. So all right, come on. I'll break it down really simple. I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just guess very accurately. I'm very good at it. So I thought I had all my ducks in a row. Unfortunately, I didn't. Not even close. Like light years away from being the way it should, which is okay. We're learning. We're learning together. I'm dealing with some new technology. And things happen, especially when you have really no time to prepare. So that's what happened. We got it straightened out. Like I said, I'm learning how to interface new things and make things work, and we're all learning together. That's what it comes down to. And honestly, a smart person will learn something new every day, only if they are smart enough to recognize that fact. And I hope to educate all of you on something. I hope watching this show, not only do I entertain you, not only do I make you laugh, but I'm hoping that I also, teach you something and possibly turn you on. I mean, that ain't my business. So again, if you're watching this on the YouTubes, feel free to comment. Feel free to, hey, talk to me. I'll talk to you. And then as soon as Esther comes in, we'll have a nice interview with her. Really, really, really cool girl. What's funny is, don't need to really hash this with her. She grew up not too far from me. We're pretty close in age, but her mom taught in the school district that I went to. So some of my friends had her mom as a teacher, which is kind of cool. Small worldish. Have you ever had like a really good small world kind of experience? Where it just like completely blew your mind how small the world truly is. I had one a couple years ago, and it was pretty cool. So I have a day job because this doesn't quite pay the bills yet. So like, share, and subscribe to help me achieve the goal of being able to do this full time. So if you could do that for me, it costs you nothing. It takes 30 seconds of your time. So if I'm worth 30 seconds of your time, go for it. So please like, share, and subscribe. Anyway. What the fuck was I talking about? I'm not even high, and small world. It's a small world after all, and I hope that song gets stuck in your head because, So I have a day job, and in this day job, I hired like 5 guys at the same time. like not five guys, the restaurant. I hired five individual gentlemen at the same time to work for me. And one of the guys, he popped up. Well, actually, we were Facebook friends at the time, but I think it was creeping on his profile, doing something weird. And he had a mutual friend that was like odd to me. It was like somebody that not in a million years would I have expected him to be friends with organically, or not necessarily organically, but I wouldn't expect him to be friends with her without it was just weird. It was weird. So I called him up and I said, how do you know this woman? I'm not going to name names because this person's actually famous in certain circles. So I said, how do you know her? And he said, that's my aunt. I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, that's my mom's sister. And it turns out that his mom's sister is the mutual friend is my wife's best friend from high school. So my wife, again, I got to put this into context because I kind of got ahead of myself. This all occurred in Central Florida, in the Tampa Bay area. We're from New York, from Long Island. That's where both me and my wife grew up. So this dude is the nephew of my wife's high school friend from New York. So like my wife has been at their house as she was growing up. And it's just it was a weird small world connection that was pretty cool, actually. You don't see too often that close of a connection. So small world. It's a small world. So that's a small world connection. And again, I became a comedian after I moved down here. I moved down here about 10 years ago. So a lot of the friends and connections I've made in New York on the comedy end are new friends since I started doing comedy. And I got to be honest with you, my comedy family up in New York are some of the most amazing people. So if you're in the New York area, support local comedy, because that's a good thing. No matter where, no matter where you are, you should support local grassroots, local comedy, live comedy, because, you have to laugh in this world. And if you don't laugh, well, what the fuck's the point? Seriously. And if you can't laugh at yourself, really reevaluate your situation. So in the past week, aside from getting everything together, we had my kids are both in marching band. As a former athlete, high school, college, semi-pro, I had big aspirations of my kids becoming athletes. They joined the marching band. So I have two band nerds and I love them dearly. And believe it or not, I volunteer with the band. I do the band parent thing. I'm not like crazy to the point where I'm, screaming and yelling and being that asshole sideline parent. I let the kids do their thing. I cheer for them when it's time to cheer for them. I let them do their thing because I don't want to be that asshole. I mean, I'm an asshole professionally, but I don't want to be that asshole. The one that we all talk shit about. So they had their marching band competition. They took their division first place. My son's the drum major, which he stands on a podium and gives an invisible man a hand job or something like that. And he got an award for being outstanding at being drum major. So I'm very proud of my chillins, and I wanted to share that with the world because shit, this is my show and I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. How about that? Yeah. So marching band, that was a good time. Oh, what do you guys want to think? You want to talk about the war in Ukraine? You want to talk about some serious shit? I'm looking forward to election day. And again, I don't like to get political. And this isn't one way or the other. I'm just looking forward for all the fucking stupid ads, the signs, the phone calls, the text messages. I'm looking forward to that all ending. That's like the most wonderful time of the year is when that shit just stops. I am, and I'm unabashed at being an asshole. If I get a text message, whether it's a candidate I support or don't support, I'm sending them a picture of my shit. Why? because I didn't ask to be sent a text message from your campaign. Listen, if I know who the fuck you are and I like what you stand for, I'm going to vote for you, no matter what your party is, because that's how I vote, with my fucking brain. So, don't call me. Don't send a text message. Don't send somebody to my door. Why? Because I'm an asshole. I don't like being disturbed. I'm a fucking hermit. Hermits have no peer pressure. So, if you knock on my door, I'm going to immediately start spewing shit into as if I support your opponent, no matter who you are, because it's funny. And I like that stuff. That's what amuses me. So there's two people. I got two people watching. Who's watching? Say hi. Say hi. I dare you. I double dog dare you. This is new. We're building an audience. So we're going to start off small. It's just you and I, me and you, all of us. I like this. I miss doing radio. So one of the things I'm looking forward to doing when Esther joins in is a thing I used to do on the old Foo Bar show. Since it's my show and I own all the rights to it, I'm going to carry it over. We did this segment called 20 Questions, which we asked 20 questions. I mean, it's 20 questions. So I am going to answer the 20 questions as not so much a baseline. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. All these are personal answers to the questions, but it's a segment I want to continue onto this because it was a lot of fun, had a lot of interesting answers, a lot of funny answers, and a lot of answers that made you scratch your head. So let's do this here now together. And if you're watching, why don't, as I ask these questions, why don't you drop your answers? Because I'd like to know. I don't just want to talk to famous people and comedians, and I think everyone is interesting. You, as my listener, you are interesting too. So if you're on the YouTubes, why don't you answer along with us? It'll be fun. So hang on, I gotta pull it up. This technology. All right, so I'm going to answer the 20 questions, and then when Esther comes on, we're going to ask her again. So you can hear these same questions twice, but that's cool because her answers will hopefully not be the same as mine. So here we go. Question number 1. What is your favorite color? My favorite color is black. My favorite color combination is black and red. Why? Because both Satan and Santa have the same letters in their name, and they both wear red and black. And if you're dyslexic, you sell your soul to Santa. Number 2, if you could choose, what would be your last meal? Now, this one's going to have to be a hypothetical considering the goings on in the world, but my favorite food of all time, the one thing I truly love to eat, I will normally say pizza, but I have pizza often. This is something I don't often have anyway, but apparently it's going to be very hard to come by in the near future, and that's going to be snow crab. I will tear the shit out of a giant pile of snow crab. I will eat the ass end of it. I love snow crab legs. And unfortunately, due to population of crab, Alaska has not only canceled snow crab paleo season, but they've also canceled king crab season. So the sad part of that is, yeah, I don't get to have crab, but more importantly, there are a shitload of people up in the Pacific Northwest and the Bering Sea that aren't going to be able to feed their families this winter. And that's fucking sad. So, if there's crab available, I mean, it's already been paid for to the fishermen, but if there's ways to support those fishermen, I don't know if there's GoFundMe's, if there's anything, support those fishermen, fisher women, fisher persons, as it were, support them because they're going to be going through some hard times right now. And they're important people in the world. Deadliest Catch. You ever watch that show? Those are the people that are going to be really rat fucked this winter. So do what we can to support them. So that is if I could pick my last meal, it would be snow crab with a baked potato that I could just dunk in the butter. No vegetables because I mean, shit, if it's my last meal and I'm going to die, I don't need any fiber. I would like to shit all over whoever's killing me at that point. Number 3, favorite guilty pleasure movie. Now, this one's going to be a shock, or maybe a shock, may not be a shock, because it's a great film, but it's not a manly movie. It's not something like, John Wayne's not going to pick this as his fucking favorite, guilty pleasure movie. But that's the whole point of a guilty pleasure movie, is it's something you don't typically do. It's something different. So my guilty pleasure movie is A League of Their Own. And I'm not ashamed of this. I'm not ashamed of this at all. Because A, it's a great movie. It's a funny movie. It's got Tom Hanks in it. I mean, fuck, everything that guy says is funny, right? I heard that somewhere. So that's the thing. It's A League of Their Own is one of my guilty pleasure movies. Believe it or not, another movie that is considered a chick flick that I like is Steel Magnolias. I'm secure enough I can say this because it's got Dolly Parton's in it. But yeah, that's that. But A League of Their Own is such a funny movie. It's about history. It's about, something real that happened, and to honor the women that played in that the all girls professional baseball league, I think it was called. But to honor them, it was a great movie. So if you've never seen it, crawl out from the fucking rock you live under and go watch that movie, because it is a fantastic film. And again, it's funny. Favorite guilty pleasure song. This is question number 4. No, yeah, 4. Favorite color, last meal, movie. Okay, so song number 4. I don't know how to count. Leave me alone. My favorite guilty pleasure song is "Wanna Be" by the Spice Girls. Now, typically, I would ask this question as the song that you like crank the fuck out of and rock out to until somebody pulls up to you at a stoplight and then you lower it because you're embarrassed. But you know what? As I'm getting older, I give less and less fucks. So I will leave "Wanna Be" by the Spice Girls blasting, and I will sing it. I will sing every word of that song because I happen to know it. All right. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. And what I really, really, really want is zig a zig, But the one thing I can't figure out about that song, the lyrics, "If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends." So is that like an invite to an orgy or something? Because I mean, I'm down. I do them all. I mean, the Spice Girls, for fuck's sake. But that makes I always wondered that. The other song I wondered about is "If you liked it, then you should have put a ring on it." Well, you put a ring on a finger. If you like the finger, where'd you put the finger? I mean, use your own imagination. I'm not, and I'm not going to judge. Whatever, wherever, whenever, however. All right. Number 5, first job would have been a blowjob. No, the first job I ever had was working at Roy Rogers, the first official on the books job. Working at a Roy Rogers restaurant in Selden, New York, cooking fried chicken in the back. So I'm going to take a timeout. I think I'm going to answer the rest of these with Esther. She is here. So let's bring her in. It's coming up. I have a little pig. Oh, it's a little tennis ball. Aw.
Hey, let me start the video. All right.
Esther Forrester.
Roger.
What's up?
Not much. You have the greatest name, Roger that.
Roger that.
That's a cool name.
Thank you. I got it from my parents. They gave it to me.
That's true. But Roger that is a good combination. But it's true. We can't control what name our parents give us.
That is true. And people really need to think about what they name their kids. Roger, Esther. Esther's actually an olderness. It's not something you see that very common. Neither is Roger.
That's why I never loved it. And I changed it on Facebook to Esme because it always sounds like an 80 or 5-year-old Jewish woman who plays bridge and goes to Hadassah. And I guess that wasn't the image I was going for.
Now, what's funny about your name and talking about, it's an old lady that's going to play. What I remember being in high school in chemistry class, and Esther is, and I remember one of the kids in the class, a guy named Pete, like from the back, he's like, "Hey, Esther, where's my fake teeth?" Like I remember him like kind of.
It's a combination. Esther is like a chemical, right?
Yeah, it's I'd have to ask my wife. She's into that.
Whatever that means. So much for my A+ in chemistry.
There you go. I failed chemistry the first time I took it.
What?
I said I failed chemistry the first time I took it.
Well, I guess that's part why it was the first time if you failed it.
That is true. That is true. So I started giving a little bit of background on who you are. You're not only a comedian, a funny comedian, You are a tennis instructor. You own a tennis school. Is this correct?
That's correct. Yes.
And it's Brainiac Tennis, which tells us that Esther is smart.
Well, now there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Now that's
What's
a lot of pressure because I have to let you know, as much as you think I'm smart, I was frantically searching for my car in the Target parking lot. So, and it was right in front of me. So,
come
yeah,
on?
but no, I guess I'm kind of smart.
You got to use the button on the remote to make the horn go beep.
Now I have an older car. Next time I get a car, I'm going to get a remote. I'd actually prefer a neon colored car with my name written on it. That would probably be the way I'd still probably find a way not to find it.
Well, if I can make a suggestion, if you're looking for a vehicle that people put names on and does come in bright colors, I strongly recommend a Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, really? Well, Jeep Wranglers are great in the snow, right? So
Hell yeah, they are.
and I mean the thing is, like, my car is tiny, but I have lots of stuff to carry, so it doesn't really match my lifestyle where literally every piece of real estate in the car is already spoken for. And I was driving like 2 comics home from a show, and I was like, okay, you can get in. And then I like moved everything to the trunk, and you could barely see out in the back.
See, now
And
there's
they're like, look,
different.
we're not fancy people. We can sit amongst all your junk. We sleep on our parents' floor.
There's levels to this though. I mean, are you talking about like 2 average size comics? Or you like bringing Fat Jay and
No,
and
it was
Billy
like 2
Guyer? You put the 2 of them in your
comics.
car.
I don't want to name names, but you're right. I didn't even know if Fat Jay could fit into my car. I
You,
had a really heavy friend once, okay, in grad school, and she was so big, she had to recline the seat back in my car. And my
oh
dad
wow.
saw the seat was reclined. He's like, what, is somebody lying down in the car? I was like, no, she's just that big. And she is so big, she sent the car, the gear shift from drive into neutral. She's just
Okay.
like that big.
Wow.
And yeah, so I don't know. If like Fat Jay and like another heavy comic are in my car, it might like topple over. But I told Fat Jay, I was like, I could buy a Fat Lives Matter shirt, but I needed an extra small.
That's awesome. Jay is Jay.
You can tell it's a good catchphrase for him. Like,
oh yeah,
makes him very memorable, and
and
all of that is like.
And he's one of the nicest, I mean, absolute nicest people. Like
Definitely.
I've known him for years, and he still face to face. He still calls me sir, and not just like being polite. Like it's like, yes, sir. He's just so polite.
He's like, hey, Miss Forrester. I remember that. He's like, hi, Miss Forrester. And he's very respectful.
Absolutely. And such a nice guy. And he's so funny that, he's going places. He's a hard worker. Great guy.
I mean,
sorry.
I know he is, but you got to wonder, like, what's he going to do when, like, if he loses weight? Like, then you can't be like, medium lives matter.
You know what? That's actually the natural progression. He should do that.
He'll have a medium lives and a thin lives matter.
There you go. I'm kind of now in the middle. I'm between fat and medium. I mean, I'm still fat. I'm just not as fat as I always was.
It's just there are different shades of fat, I guess.
There's different levels to that shit. So the tennis thing, you've played tennis almost your whole life, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I was playing tennis in my mom's womb.
Now, are you considered a professional tennis player?
Well, I am a professional tennis coach, and that's my designation. And I played collegiate Division I tennis.
Where'd you play?
For Stony Brook.
Hey, go Seawolves.
I know, right? Because you're from out there. And so, yeah, the Seawolves, it was an amazing experience. And the best part of the experience is that every weekend you go away for matches. And then we got meal money. to like, pay for all our meals when we're away.
Okay.
And if you had leftover meal money that you didn't spend, you could keep it. And this girl kept so much money because we'd go away to places where the food was cheap. And so this girl spent so little money, she had so much money left that she bought a porn with the leftover money.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, but I mean the most memorable experience, like we went down to the Citadel and we stayed in the Citadel barracks because our coach forgot to request a budget for like hotel rooms for spring break in South Carolina. So we stayed in the Citadel barracks, and there was supposed to be 2 rooms for 6 of us, but it ended up being 1 room because one of the people was staying in the barracks because he got detention because I think he harassed someone.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was all 6 of us in 1 room. And I'm like, what? But truthfully, I don't know what he did to get in trouble because he seemed perfectly nice, the guy.
Yeah, you never know. So it was 1 dude and then a room full of girls.
Right. And then there were 2 roomfuls of the guys' team. The guys' team, of course, got the 2 rooms, but we
of course
were squeezed into 1 room. And then we have this one dude. And meanwhile, though, you got to think about it. He's the one that did something wrong. And yet he's got his own room.
So he was on the tennis team.
No, he was just a random student at the Citadel, but he was sent to the barracks because he did something wrong and he was like in detention.
Okay.
That's why there was only 3 rooms available, not 4.
Gotcha.
So there were the 6 of us packed into 1 room, and then 2 of the girls were dating guys on the guys' team, and then they came into our room. So it was like 8 people in 1 room.
That's funny. See, now I remember traveling when I played college football, and when we traveled for games, I went to a Division III school, so we didn't have a huge budget. But when we went on away, road trip games, it was 4 to a room, which doesn't sound bad, but we're talking 4 football players.
4
we're talking
about guys, yeah.
4 big dudes. So usually one would sleep at, one would grab a bed, one would grab a bed, one would sleep on the floor, and then one would sleep in the bathtub. That's kind of the way we did it.
Yeah, because you're not going to share a bed. Like,
exactly.
If there's 2 big guys, they're not going to go share a double bed.
Well, I mean, who's going to be the big spoon? Who's going to be the little spoon? I mean, you're both big spoons.
Yeah, like we often, I guess, got cots. But sometimes we're lucky enough to have only 2 in a room.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine 2 200-pound guys like sharing a double bed.
Yeah, it's a little cramped.
When you had dorm rooms and you have single beds in a dorm room, and like my friend would have her boyfriend over, and they're both like big people on a single bed, and I always was amazed that worked and that they didn't want to hurt each other. But
yeah,
I wonder if having the single beds in the dorm room was a way of discouraging people from having sex or seeing how badly you wanted it.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, Stony Brook's, yeah, it's a great place.
Now, what's funny is I went to a Division III school, and it was a middle of nowhere, North Carolina. And Stony Brook's baseball team came down and played at my school during my freshman year.
That was a big part of the spring break, is that you go south and play different schools south that you wouldn't normally play in the season. Was it Elon College or Davidson?
No, actually, the school I went to was called it was Chowan College at the time. They've now changed it to Chowan University.
I didn't know that school. Wow.
It's like I said, it's the middle of nowhere. The school's biggest claim to fame, and probably their most famous alumni, as terrible as this is Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind of the September 11th attacks.
Oh my
went
God.
to Chowan University before he transferred to, I think, North Carolina Tech or A&M or something.
They're not going to put that in their admissions brochure then.
Not in the admissions brochure. And what's funny is I kept putting it on their Wikipedia page, and they kept taking it off, and then Wikipedia finally locked it because it's true. It's not.
I mean, that's the thing about it, is that you can't, on some sites, I guess you can't hide the truth. But I mean, I guess on like tours, when people come visiting, they're not going to mention that. But yeah,
Exactly.
that's true about Wikipedia, right? That you can't just take stuff off if it's true.
Excuse me, I sneezed.
Now,
But
this was his dorm room here, and this was where he went to chemistry class, everybody.
Well, that's what I thought was strange when I was there. So I was there before September 11th.
Right.
Several years before September 11th. But even then, it was a Southern Baptist college. I mean, it still is. But there was a very high Muslim population there, which when I was there, I thought was kind of strange. I mean, they were very nice to me, and they didn't cause any problems. But it turns out that, that's what happens. It is what it is.
It's hard to know, but I guess Muslims always live. Maybe there are a lot of Muslims living in that area, or maybe they're, for whatever reason, attracted to the school. It's hard to know.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, there were no issues when I was there. I mean, everybody was cool.
I had lots of friends who were Muslims in college. Yeah.
But that's the school's claim to fame. The school's been around since 1848. Now what's funny is, because
you go there, did you get a football scholarship, or were you recruited for football, or?
Okay, so out of high school, I went to high school on Long Island. We've talked about this. I went to Newfield High School, for anybody keeping score.
Right.
Newfield was at the time, had a very, very weak football program. I had some coaches who were great people. They just, we weren't successful. So out of my high school class, I'm the only one, I believe. I don't think anybody, I can't think of anybody else. I'm the only one that went to college or played college ball. Right. I was recruited by a company that did they were almost like a clearinghouse for student athletes. So they would, it was like a PR company. So they put together a PR pack with video clips and pictures and stats and info, and they would send it out to schools. So I had some Division I schools looking at me. I had some Division II schools looking at me. Stony Brook was an option.
Sure.
But because my grades were shitty in high school, they gave me an option. I could either go to a Division I or Division II school. I would have to redshirt my freshman year.
Yeah, you have to make certain SATs,
Yeah, my SAT scores were my only saving grace. My grade point average was dog shit.
Because your GPA was low, you weren't.
Correct. I would have had to pull my grades up. She just dropped out. Now she's back. I would have to redshirt a year, pull my grades up, and then I could go, then I could play.
But you wanted to get right onto the field. You didn't want to be waiting around a year.
Exactly. So I went Division III, which unfortunately there is no scholarships in Division III. So I went to this school in North Carolina. I knew everything, so I didn't have to go to class. Apparently, you're supposed to do your work. To quote the movie Animal House, fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. And that's what I was doing.
You didn't go to class, but you somehow graduated.
No, I got kicked out. Not only did I get kicked out, I got put on academic suspension, and then I was verbally asked not to come back. To this day,
I was there. The college, not just athletics, but the whole school.
They did not want me back at that school. To this day, they still talk about shit that I did as examples of things not to do. So,
but wait a minute. They had the guy who was responsible for 9/11, yet they're talking about you. I'm sure what you did cannot be as bad as 9/11.
Well, I'm sure that somewhere along the lines at the school, they do teach the students, don't organize a terrorist attack and fly planes into buildings and kill people. I'm sure they teach that. But the stuff that use my example of, so it's a Southern Baptist college, no alcohol permitted whatsoever on campus at all. If you were 21 or not, no alcohol. I had a bar set up in my room, a full bar, mixers, hard liquor, beer, set up in my room. All the alcohol was purchased by my next door neighbor, who was my RA. He bought all the booze for the bar.
RA here.
He bought the booze for the bar that wasn't supposed to exist. I would do shit like the driveway into the school right before you hit the gate or right after you go through the gate. On the right-hand side was the president of the college's house. I pulled up on his lawn and laid on the horn at like 2:00 in the morning, waiting for a light to come on, and then we all mooned him, and then I took off. The problem is I was driving a Dodge Caravan with New York plates. I stuck out like a sore thumb. They knew who the fuck it was.
But you didn't care, I guess.
No. I mean, it was one of those things where, oh, this is gonna be a goof. It's gonna be fun. You know, we're not gonna get in trouble. I didn't get in trouble for it, but it was well known who did what.
And then what happened after you were kicked out? Did you go somewhere else or work or what?
I went to Suffolk Community College because my father was the type of guy that would like yell and scream if he was pissed off. When he got that letter saying that I was on academic suspension, he called me in the room, showed me the letter, and just said very calmly, "I'm very disappointed." That hurt more than if he yelled at me and beat me.
And yelled and threw stuff at you, and
he looked me dead in the eye and he said, "I'm very disappointed," and that killed me. That killed me. I was the only one out of I have 3 siblings. So there's 4 of us. I'm the only one that went away to school, and he had, like, to him, education was important, as education is important. But
you were like his hope. So then you went to Suffolk, and then what?
Then I realized school really wasn't for me, and I went to work.
I mean, but sadly in this country, we like overemphasize college, and everyone's got to go to college. But the truth be told, for some people, college isn't the right fit, and there are plenty of good jobs that you can get if you instead go to a job training program.
Oh yeah.
And you have less debt. If you do like a year-long job training program for something like welding, you don't have any debt. You start at like 70K. You can do pretty well for yourself.
Oh yeah. But the trade-off is hard work. And I don't have a college degree to this day. It's on my bucket list of things to do because my father wanted, it was very important to him that we all had college degrees. So to honor him at some point, I will go back and at least get an associate's degree, probably in basket weaving or some bullshit that's easy. But
But a lot of times college is, I don't want to say it's useless, but it just doesn't prepare people for a job. Maybe you learn how to write, maybe you learn how to think better, maybe you can solve these complex algebraic equations, but
if you study the right thing and go down a correct path, it can prepare you. But if you just go to college,
if you do a major like occupational therapy or engineering or something, then sure, it could lead to a good job. But for a lot of people, they struggle after college in knowing what they're going to do so that they can pay their bills.
Well, it's like,
and I guess look, a lot of the stuff you learn in college is interesting and meaningful, and it's great. I just feel colleges neglect to discuss what are you going to do upon graduation.
Yeah. If you go to college for, STEM, any STEM program, science, technology, engineering, math,
are great. Yeah.
Any of those programs are going to give you the tools you need for a career.
Right. But then there's a career at the end of the 4 or 5 years.
Correct. But to go into debt for, $100,000 to get a basic liberal arts degree it's completely fucking pointless. Some of the smartest people I know didn't go to college, and some of the dumbest people I know have degrees.
I mean, it's true because everyone really has different intelligences, and there are so many different kinds of intelligences that I believe everyone has some intelligence, hopefully, but it's all a matter of uncovering what your intelligence is and then making sure you're in a career and in hobbies that really let that intelligence shine through.
Absolutely correct. And and somebody who decides not to go to college and decides to go the trade route, there's a lot, they have to work hard,
Sure.
but they end up being in that better position of not having that, $100,000 worth of debt. I mean, trade school isn't free, but it's not six figures, and
right.
it teaches
it's not
you.
like, plus also it's shorter. It's often like a year or a 2-year long program.
Yep.
Whereas like a college degree could be 8 years, 10 years. If you
Yeah.
become like a doctor, you're in school after you finish your 4 years of college, you're in school for another good 10 years almost before you're actually earning money.
True, but the flip side to
But
that
a
is
doctor, doctors earn a good salary, but
doctors, lawyers, like that. But then again, a lawyer, people don't realize lawyers hold doctorate degrees.
yeah,
A Juris Doctorate is a doctorate degree.
Yeah.
People forget that attorneys that have, graduated school and passed the bar are technically doctors, not medical doctors, but, educated to a, to a doctorate level. So, those occupations obviously pay well. I got a guy I went to high school with as an emergency room doctor. Dude makes a fuckload of money. But that's the trade-off there. But there are very few college degrees that put you into that position. So
right. A lot of times someone comes out of college, they could have 6-figure debt, and they get a job starting at like $36,000 a year, $42,000 a year. And that's a reality. But in England, for example, so my cousin, let's hope he's not listening. He did not go to college because in England, it's really different. So I was born in London and my father was British and all his family is still there. And in
Okay.
England, college is free. It's subsidized by the government. So
okay, sorry about your queen, by the way.
And so England, college is free. However, it's decided whether you're going to college when you're 11 years old. You take an 11 plus exam. If you do well enough on that exam, you go into the college prep track and you're prepared for college and for the college entrance exams. If you don't do well enough, you go into a general track and you're prepared to go to a trade school and have employment after high school. And you take 2 sets of exams, A levels and O levels, and then you get a conditional offer from a college based on those scores. Okay. So my dad did go to college, but it's much harder to go to college. So even though college is free, he was the only person in his elementary school that did well enough on the 11 plus to go to college. To go into the college prep high school. Now, he says that like other elementary schools did much more rigorous preparation for that exam than his elementary school. So, but maybe he's just being modest. So my cousin, for example, passed the 11 plus, but then I guess he was kicked out of the school for bad behavior. So he went into a general track, but I guess he became like a recruiter and now he's like a businessman. I think he's maybe a little bit. Anyway, the point is that he's doing very well, even though he has much less education than me.
But what it comes down to is
it's true that in England and in Europe, it's very different in that less people go to college. College is free, and there are many other options if you're not in the college track where you can still, have a viable career.
Yeah, and what it comes down to is how much effort are you willing to put into learning? I mean, you in the United States, you come out with a master's degree in philosophy. What are you going to do? You go become a barista at Starbucks. I mean,
that's the whole joke, right? I mean, in a way, it's difficult to balance out. Like, I guess some people have like intellectual curiosity and they really want to, and that is one thing that's, I guess not everything has to be about a career. Some things can be about just learning for the sake of learning, but you've got to consider if that's worth 6-figure debt.
Yeah. And It's for some people, to me, college has got to be something you're willing to, put the effort in and do something with. That degree in philosophy may not be the greatest move, or a general liberal arts degree that's getting a degree for the sake of getting a degree. You get out, you're not qualified to do shit, but now you have, 5-6 figures worth of debt, and it's just not worth it. It's going to take you, half your life to pay that back, and it's not going to do much for you. But I'm a big fan.
The reality is that a lot of people who do get liberal arts degrees and get a job after college, a lot of the ways you get those jobs are by connections. And
everything's
how
connections.
A lot of people get their first job is that they knew somebody who knew someone. And the other reality is, I was talking to someone about this, is that being on Long Island, there just aren't that many jobs for college graduates. Like, unless you're going to be in retail or work in a restaurant or open your own law practice or your own medical practice, there aren't many jobs. Whereas in New Jersey, there are lots of pharmaceutical companies headquartered there that have jobs in many different fields that a college graduate could get, and they pay well, and then you can afford to live there. And that's why everybody's leaving Long Island, because
that's one of the reasons.
Are a barista, you're not.
That's one of the reasons.
I mean, there's other reasons why people leave Long Island, but the fact is that Grumman leaving Long Island really killed a lot of jobs, and there aren't that many companies there. There's still Brookhaven Lab and Henry Schein, but those are
but
they don't. Island that big. There should be more companies that create jobs.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I mean, Brookhaven Lab doesn't really employ that many people. Schein I mean, they're a big employer, but they don't employ that many people. Estee Lauder is another huge employer on Long Island, but again, there's 7 million people living on Long Island.
There are not more than 3 companies to give them decent jobs.
That's it. And what's
where
funny,
they can pay their bills.
But it's interesting that you mentioned Grumman, because I remember as a kid, like, a lot of my friends, their parents, their families were Grumman families. Like, everybody worked there. My family didn't.
It was a big employer, like the auto, like Ford in Detroit. Basically, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Grumman was huge, and they had multiple facilities. They employed so many people, and them being bought out by Northrop and moving all the operations off Long Island. I think, I can't say it killed Long Island, but it definitely put a hurting on it.
Yeah, because the thing is, Long Island is just expensive as anywhere else to live.
Absolutely.
And also, it means like a long commute into the city is basically what your options are if you want to live out there.
And that's what my father did for almost 38 years. He commuted from Long Island into the city. He took the railroad from Ronkonkoma every day.
I mean, at least, from Ronkonkoma, that's the one smart thing he did, because there's no transfer in Jamaica.
Yeah, well, that's
everyone's death wish. When you hear change in Jamaica, that's when you're ready to kill everyone.
I don't miss that at all.
And Long Island Railroad, let's be honest, is a big joke.
You know what? You know what?
Always, it's a true miracle if there are no delays on the Long Island Railroad.
Well, I've always referred to the Long Island Railroad as the Silver Snail, and everybody knows that the Long Island Expressway is the world's largest parking lot.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is that our roads are a joke, and so is our railroads and the subways. Like,
all right.
In England, going back to England, trains run like twice as fast. Like, it takes half the time to get somewhere by train to go the same distance. Like,
well, shit, just here in Tampa, my commute, my day job, I live, I think from door to door, we just moved to a bigger office. It's a little bit further away. I want to say I live maybe 25 miles from my job, well, from where my office is. So I went to the office this morning. I left my house I dropped my kids off at about 8:35, and I have to drive through the middle of downtown Tampa on surface streets like through the heart of downtown Tampa,
Right.
it takes me about a half hour.
That's it.
Yep.
Because I have to tell you, it's just become pathetic where I was leaving the Upper East Side of Manhattan to go to Montclair, New Jersey. And it's a 20-mile ride. Okay. Montclair is only 20 miles from the city. And
Let me guess, an hour.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
I mean, and that's just pathetic. And at that point, if you're an hour and a half commute from the city, you can't bill yourself even as a suburb or a bedroom community anymore. That's just ripping people off and lying to people. If it takes an hour and a half, people might as well live out in the boondocks then.
Yeah.
If it's going to take an hour and a half to get from the city to that place.
And that's, that's one of the reasons why people are leaving. It's
leaving the New York City area.
Oh yeah. It's not just Long Island.
Joke that you can't get from it can take, when you're driving in the city, it can take an hour to get 3 miles. And
yeah,
it's just like, I don't know. It's just like a whole, if there were more, I honestly felt Bloomberg, it was better somehow, but maybe it's just bad memory that it was better under the Bloomberg administration. But I
don't think the traffic really has anything to do with who the mayor is. Because
subway delays could.
Possibly.
I mean, it's hard to know how to improve traffic. Like, I'm not an engineer, but I feel like part of traffic is that people lack such common sense.
Well,
like
I mean, that's another fucking argument.
What?
That's another fucking argument, is the lack of common sense. I mean,
I feel that that's a big part of why there's so much traffic, is people also love a train wreck. There's one accident, everyone feels the need to look.
Rubbernecking.
Come on here, like, are you doing anything to help these people that just had a car accident, or are you just gonna gaze and slow down?
But that's not just a New York thing. That's an everywhere thing. I mean, I travel a lot. I drive a lot. I spend a lot of time on the road.
There are just so many people in New York, or maybe there's just more temptations in New York. Like, maybe people in other parts of the country don't leave their house because there's nowhere to go.
Well, one of the biggest problems with New York City is the city has completely outgrown the ability of the roads to handle the traffic. I mean,
they need to build better roads and more lanes and stuff.
But the problem is, in a place like New York City, where there's so much bureaucracy to get something done, and you got to deal with the unions. Down here, I mean, they say, okay, we're going to build this project. We're going to start here. We're going to end here. And they just do it. And it gets done.
I mean, that's the reality, is that the roads that currently exist can't handle all the cars and all the people. And so you've got to build more lanes and wider roads and everything like that so that it can manage. And I mean, for all the talent and brains that live in New York City, you think they could figure it out. Like,
yep.
But like you said, there's a lot of bureaucracy to get anything done. You need an approval to have an 11/8 stand. You've got to get approval. Like,
you got to get approval, and then you got to get another approval, and you got to get this approval and that approval. I'm 44 years old. I cannot remember a time when the Belt Parkway was not under construction in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so if there's all this construction, why isn't it improving?
I think what it has to do is they realize, okay, this is what we need to do right now to fix the traffic problem. But by the time they get it done, so many more people have moved in. There are so many more cars that before the project's even finished, it's already been outgrown.
So basically, we need birth control. We need birth control and carpools to basically combat this.
You know what? I'm waiting for them to start dropping nukes. We're due. We need somebody needs to hit the giant reset button.
Kill everybody off.
There we go. Start from scratch. Clean slate. Fuck everybody.
Get rid of everyone you don't like. Be like, right, you're gone because we got to solve the traffic problem here.
Well, I mean, shit. If I'm getting rid of everybody that I don't like, there's going to be like 10 people left.
You're
one of them. You're one of them.
My mom's friend, she was like, I was like, I was younger then and more naive. And I was like, Laurel, there are so many nice people. She's like, what? 1/10 of 10%? And I came to, at first I thought that was ridiculous because I was in college then, so I had a more optimistic view of humans. But now I realize that answer isn't far from the truth. That there are just, you know, there are just messed up people out there.
Well, there is only one animal on this planet that could go extinct and the earth would be better off, and that animal is people.
Right. Well,
We're
because
the
people are
only
destroying the earth.
Well, exactly. So make them all, get rid of all the people. Fuck it.
I
Let's
mean,
go.
but when you think about it, people are just a tough breed. Like, it's just simpler to understand like other animals' needs, but it's so hard to understand what people really want. Like a lot of other animals, all they want is to be fed and sheltered, and that's it. And that's all they need. But with humans, it seems like they have so many complex needs and everything offends them. And I like never understand what people really want.
That's true. I mean, in the animal world, all animals exist to do really two things: eat and make more of whatever they are.
And that's when you think about other animals, that's all they really need. Is they need to reproduce, they need to eat, they need to sleep, and they need shelter. And
but
humans just seem to need so much more than that.
But we're civilized. Like, well, I need
it done this way, and I need this, and I'm like, oh my god.
But it's like, but we're civilized. We can build these great things and send men to other planets and do this and do that. I think if you look at the evolution, like back in, the 1700s, the 1800s, when life was incredibly simple, what I always hear from my wife or other people is, yeah, but you died at 35. Yeah, but you died happy at 35. I mean, by the time you're 35, you got like 12 kids and probably some grandkids at that point. But the thing is, I'd rather be happy and die young than be old and miserable.
I mean, in a way, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't understand anymore what people want or what it really takes to make people happy. Like, whatever it is, it always seems like you'll say something wrong and it's not enough for what people like. The other big problem is that technology has really changed where now people want like instant gratification. And someone put up a post where they're like, you think about successful companies and they're all based on meeting an instant need. Like Facebook is instant validation. Amazon, in a couple of days, you can get the goods you need. Shopify, you instantly can start a business with no money down. Yep. OnlyFans, instant sexual gratification. Like dating apps, instant romantic connections. And people expect instant things, and sometimes I don't have instant answers, and people have no patience for anything. They're like, right, if you didn't give me an instant answer, like, I'm moving on to the next thing.
That whole need for instant gratification is actually making us stupider. And I talk about this all the time.
We don't have to do any work or any research or anything for it. Like it used to be, if you wanted to get even get your kid a coat, you'd go to like 3 different stores and find out where they had the best bargain, and you'd look at the different coats and ask around. And now you just pop it onto Amazon and read the reviews in one click, and that's it. And you don't even leave your bed, and you've got your kid a new coat. And people don't want to be bothered to go to 3 different stores or to ask around or something like that.
Well, even beyond the shopping end of it, because I actually got to be honest with you, I really like the idea of being able to order shit and have it delivered because I don't have to see people.
Yeah.
But it's making us stupider in that back in the day when you were younger, when you were in school, if you wanted to know something,
you wanted to learn something,
you had to go to the library. You had to look in the card catalog, the Dewey Decimal System. You had to look it up. And then once you looked it up, because you couldn't take the book with you, you had to take notes, or if
Yeah,
you
you
were
had
at
to
a
take
library
notes.
or that would
But
make
that Dewey
photocopies.
Decimal System, and you wrote it in that little golf pencil. You wrote down the number, and you had to go downstairs to a dark room and look for the book.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
now,
I
if you
remember
want to
all
know
that. And now
something,
you just type the question into Google.
yep. And then, but here's the problem: going through all those steps that we used to have to go through with, finding it in the card catalog, and then going and finding the book and looking it up and taking the notes or getting the photocopy, you would retain some of that. Now,
Yeah,
if you need
because
to,
you had to read through all this stuff and find the answer. You
now,
read
if you,
a whole book so that you could find the answer to one question.
but today, if you want to find if you need to know something
You
for
just
whatever
type
reason,
in a very specific question into Google, and right away it comes up.
you get the answer, you utilize the answer in that moment, and then it's gone. It's not in your
Yeah,
head.
you
It's
don't
gone.
retain the info.
And that's
Plus, also, you found out when you read the book, you found out info related to that question. And nowadays, you just put the question in, and all you see is the answer to that question.
Yep.
Plus, the other thing I think is true is, like, I don't know, creativity, like Girl Scout cookies. When I was younger, I would knock on every neighbor's door and I'd beg them to buy the Girl Scout cookies from me. And I would walk to other neighborhoods nearby and up. I did whatever it took. And nowadays, kids are a Girl Scout, and their mom just puts it on social media that they have Girl Scout cookies, and they can sell like 1,000 boxes.
Well, the flip side is, today it's very risky having your little girl going and knocking on random strangers' doors.
I mean, nobody trusts their kids to go anywhere. People won't even let their kids play in the backyard unsupervised. And just
see, and that's why I taught my kids to be complete and total assholes. This way, if they were ever kidnapped, the kidnappers would return them real fucking. Like, they'd be returned real quick. Like, fuck these kids.
Yeah, or they could be really fat too, because no one's gonna want to drag a fat kid into the car.
Hey, fat people are hard to kidnap. Jay will attest to that. But but here's the thing: like, did you actually really have to beg people to buy Girl Scout cookies? Because when the girls show up,
some people were an easier sell than others.
I'm one of them easy sells.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people expected it, because it's not like they live in a vacuum. I'm sure in prior years they've been approached to get Girl Scout cookies. They know when it's coming,
Oh yeah, my order has been the same for years.
But I think it was just that, like, either someone else got to them first in the Girl Scout troop, or maybe they just wanted to make you work for it. But I remember that some people just didn't want Girl Scout cookies, I guess. You gotta wonder about someone like that. Like, hey, you want some cookies and want to help out the neighborhood Girl Scout troop? No, fuck you. Like,
hell
you gotta
no.
wonder about someone like that if they're denying themselves pleasure and they don't want to help out kids. Like,
some people are afraid of pleasure.
Serial killer or something.
So, like, the first Girl Scout that comes to my door, that's the only person. Girl Scouts are the only ones truly welcome at my door that aren't delivering something, because
you won't say to fuck off.
What's that?
They're the only ones that you won't say to fuck off.
Oh, absolutely. The first Girl Scout that comes to my door, she gets the big order. I'll order 2 boxes of Thin Mints, 2 boxes of Samoas, 2 boxes of the trefoils.
Right.
Then every other girl that comes after, I'll get like 1 box from. But because I'm fucking fat, so I mean, I'm gonna eat Girl Scout cookies.
You're gonna eat a bunch.
Hell yeah!
You picture like a really thin person. There were some people, and they're like, "Oh, we'll take 1 box of the trefoils." There was always one kind of Girl Scout cookie that you gotta wonder, or the lemon zest or whatever.
I love those. Like,
who would want that?
Me.
Even
Send them all to me.
Kinds you would eat.
Hell yeah, the trefoils I like dipping those in milk. The shortbread cookies, but the lemon cookies I love, and Thin Mints. Thin Mints are the best.
Everyone took the Thin Mints.
They go in the freezer because frozen Thin Mints are amazing.
They were, right?
They still are. I still get them. And I learned, did you know that Keebler bakes Girl Scout cookies?
What?
Keebler, the company Keebler,
Keebler.
they bake Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, wow.
If you go to the grocery store and you buy their grasshopper cookies, they're Thin Mints. They're a little bit different shape, but they taste exactly like Thin Mints. So there you go, people.
Yeah.
Get yourself some Keebler grasshopper cookies.
Yeah.
And I know this because I'm fat.
No, but you know, there's like a second Girl Scout cookie or something. Who was it? Some celebrity that came up with an alternate Girl Scout cookie.
No.
No, but who's the one? This comedian has a joke that he went to jail because he got really mad at someone and lost control. And he's like, because you know, I just don't want Girl Scout cookies.
Who the hell was that?
You know that guy, Duke, the baker guy?
No.
He's got a joke and he says that that's how he went to jail because he's like, I just don't want Girl Scout cookies.
That anybody who doesn't want Girl Scout cookies,
I mean,
like
you
adult,
gotta wonder about what's wrong with them, right?
exactly. I mean, even if you're gonna buy one box, everybody, there is a Girl Scout cookie variety for everyone. For
even
everyone.
if you're right, even if you're on some kind of diet and you're watching your weight, you can still get one box and make it last a whole year then.
Exactly. Or you're like me and you buy, 10 boxes and eat them all in a month,
Ay. No,
well, I mean,
I
have a family of 4 fat, we're all fat asses and we like cookies. So,
So they will send the Girl Scouts to you.
Yeah, send the Girl Scouts to me.
All the frustrated Girl Scouts will send to you.
No. Just send them for the cookies. Anything else that's
Anything
illegal
else?
And we don't play that.
No, because they would also have the peanut drives. I'm like, after giving people cookies, I think the peanuts will be a bit of a letdown. Like,
see what they do here in Florida, they every now and again, like the girls that live in the neighborhood, they'll knock on the neighborhood doors. But Publix, the grocery store chain down here, will allow the troops to set up tables outside of the store.
I see that in New York supermarkets too.
Yeah, but so the Girl Scouts sell the cookies, the Boy Scouts sell the peanuts, and they sell popcorn, like microwave popcorn.
Popcorn is the one thing I can't get enough of.
Oh, I love popcorn. Oh.
Other day, especially the movie theater popcorn.
Well, my thing is freshly made kettle corn, sweet and salty. Oh, my kids had a marching band competition this past weekend, and my wife picked up a giant bag of the kettle corn from the kettle corn vendor. Delicious. Popcorn's good for you. I mean, as long as you don't smear it in butter. Popcorn's relatively good for you.
But when you travel, I'm always on the go, and popcorn is one thing that's kind of easy to eat if you're like running around all day. Popcorn and like power bars and like, almonds are the thing that are like easy to eat if you're in a rush, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm also the same fat ass I'm the fat ass, my Jeep is stick shift, and I'll eat a sandwich while shifting gears in traffic because I'm that fat and I like sandwiches.
Like Joey on Friends, how
exactly.
He loves sandwiches.
Hey, have you ever met a sandwich you didn't like? Really? I mean, some I like more than others, but I've never met a sandwich that I didn't like, except for a liverwurst sandwich.
You're wrong with a sandwich, right?
That's true. Especially a good one. So what I was doing before you rang in, I do this thing, or on my old show, I did this, and I'm going to keep it going on this new show. And it's 20 questions. I started answering my answers for the 20 questions.
Oh, cool.
So I would like to ask Ms. Esther her these questions to get your answers. Some of them are funny, some of them are light and topical. So let's get to it. We'll start off easy with number 1. What is your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Them Port Jeff Royals.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. I always wish my hair were more purpley, but yeah, the Port Jeff Royals, that's true.
Yep. It's purple. Nice. That is the color of royalty. Number 2, if you could choose what your last meal would be, if you were in a situation where you had to choose your last meal, what would your last meal be?
I honestly love just corn, but I mean,
I love
honestly, you're
corn.
on your deathbed. Can you really taste and appreciate food that much?
Well, I mean, this could be in the hypothetical as, you're
This
about to
is
be
a
executed.
hypothetical.
Yeah, you're about
Yeah.
to be executed. If you could choose your last
I
meal.
mean, I love pad thai as well.
Ooh. Okay. You don't live on Long Island anymore, right?
Correct. I live in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Hoboken. Okay, so if you ever find yourself out on the island, and this is not an endorsement, this is not a paid advertisement, but in Farmingdale there is a Thai restaurant called Tiny Thai, and it is a fucking tiny restaurant. I
Cool.
think they got like 6 tables. It is the best Thai I've ever had in my life.
Awesome. I'll keep that in mind.
So Tiny Thai.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. What is your guilty pleasure movie? The one movie that is a weird one for you that people would question that you like it. My answer to this one, by the way, was A League of Their Own.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
I didn't know. I guess I watched that movie late night that's on Amazon Prime, and I
Not
feel
familiar.
like it's probably not considered a well done movie, and it's a bit of a cliche. But there's something about it, how she's the underdog, that I like it.
Okay, I've never heard of it, but I will check that out.
Late night, yeah.
Late night. All right, number 4. What is your guilty pleasure song? The one song that you'll rock the fuck out to until you stop at a light and you got to lower the volume so nobody knows that you like it.
I don't know. I guess Happy to Be Stuck with You, or Doing It All for My Baby, like anything Huey Lewis and the News.
Oh, I love Huey Lewis, and not even in a reference to American Psycho.
My brother-in-law's like, Huey Lewis in the News. What's wrong with you?
It's what's sad is
I don't want to be stuck with you, that asshole.
Yeah, I mean, now you know he can't perform live anymore, right?
No, I didn't know that.
His hearing is he can't hear.
Oh no.
So because he can't, yeah, it's really sad. He funny guy, nice guy, great singer. I love Huey Lewis in the News. So that's
my hearing's going also.
So is mine. My answer to that, by the way, is "Wannabe" by the Spice Girls.
Oh my God, I was going to say something Spice Girls.
I love them. All right. I don't think I got to this. Oh no, I did. This is where I ended. What was your first job?
I've never worked. I'm a spoiled rich kid. No, I think I was a camp counselor. That was my first job.
Like a summer camp?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, number 6. Now this question might offend you, but I think you can handle it. I think you can handle it.
Okay.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Oh no. I think I actually had pineapple once on pizza. It just doesn't fit in. Okay. It's like, trying to mix an extreme Republican and extreme Democrat together. It's just a bad idea. Pineapple.
Sometimes that works because Mary Matlin and James Carville are complete opposite spectrum and they work out. But
right.
My answer to this, because I didn't get to answer these yet. My answer to this is pineapple belongs on pizza as long as it is not good pizza. Like Domino's, right. Put pineapple on that shit. It's good. Sure. When I go back home and I order pizza from my favorite pizza joint in New York, do not put pineapple on that. Don't put pineapple on good pizza. That's where we're at. Did I lose you?
I'll be back in a sec. Hang on.
Okay. You want me to mute you out?
Hang on.
Okay. I'm hanging on. So to all those people out there, while she's doing her thing, to all those people out there that don't think pineapple belongs on pizza, it belongs on pizza. Pineapple on pizza is good, especially when you put it with something salty, sweet and salty. Believe it or not, it's as crazy as it is. The movie Deadpool made popular the pineapple and olive pizza, and it's actually pretty good. But again, don't put pineapple
and olive.
It's sweet and salty. It's surprised, but again, Don't do it to good pizza because that's a fucking sin.
Exactly. That's the thing. If it's junky pizza already, you
Yeah,
can ruin
Domino's,
it.
Papa John's. Although I hate Papa John's, but
yeah, if
whatever.
it's a crap pizza, then you can ruin it.
Exactly. So, all right, number 7, and this could be someplace you've been, maybe not someplace you haven't been yet, but what would you classify as your perfect vacation spot?
Gosh, I haven't got it. I loved going to Newport, Rhode Island. But
Okay,
I mean,
Newport's
I'd
nice.
love to go to Greece. I'd love to go to Italy. Anywhere that has like scenery, both nature, but also a town, and anywhere that has like some kind of historic meaning, I think
Okay,
I'd be happy.
okay. Now, what's the where did you go? Like the one vacation in your mind that was like the greatest vacation you ever took? Where was that to?
Gosh, I really need a vacation.
We all
I
do.
haven't really been anywhere cool. I lived in Australia for like a couple of months when I was almost 2 years old. And I
Nice.
think it was kind of downhill from there.
Because you ended up on Long Island.
Yeah. So after Australia, it was kind of downhill. It was like the best thing when I was a baby. And then everywhere else was more cheesy spots, I think. Though I've been
Okay.
to England and to Wales and Canada as well.
Okay.
But I
See,
hated England.
those are your people, though.
Yeah, I guess I'm a traitor then.
That's all right. So now my answer to this question is the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, on up the eastern seaboard.
Yeah.
I took a vacation there last year. We rented a cabin in the mountains. It was high up on a hill with the river right below it, sitting out on the deck, no sound, no people, just nature, the sound of the water. It was the most peaceful, relaxing time I ever had. The way I look at vacations, we used to go like every year. Our vacation spot was Disney World, which it's not restful. It's, it's go, go, go. We got to go here. We got a reservation. We got to go here and get on this ride and do this. And I would almost think that going, especially if you're on one of those tours, going to places like Greece or Italy is almost the same thing where it's like, oh, we got to be online to go to the tour and get on the bus and go see this and that. Like being out in the mountains, we had no schedule. We had nothing to do, nowhere to be, just relax and enjoy the clean air and the quiet. And it was amazing to me.
So your mind didn't go to dark places when you did that.
No.
Well, then that's good.
No,
Sometimes we need a change of pace.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have been to Spain. I take that back. But I
Okay.
was leading a tour of teenagers where they played tennis, but they also went to tour sites. And so I
Okay.
was leading that tour. And so when you say it's stressful to be on schedule, it's even more stressful when you're taking like a bunch of hormonally raged teenagers and trying to get them to get anywhere. That's even more stressful.
I can imagine. The
And like they were just, yeah, the most, like it was hard to really get to know the natives, and they were the most dramatic kids ever. And the boys actually had more drama than the girls. And this one boy said to me, he's like, well, Esther, let me put it this way to you. There's 9 guys and only one hot girl.
ooh, that's when you tell them
And
lower your standards,
that's why
buddy.
they were being such assholes, because I guess only 1 out of the 5 girls was hot to them. So they're like, Esther, there's only 1 hot girl on this tour. I was like, I guess you better go find yourself a prostitute then.
There you go.
And
What's
I made
funny
up
is
this joke, which is obviously not true, where I said I didn't have money to give him a prostitute for him to, for a prostitute. I didn't have money to give him, so I fucked him instead. But obviously I didn't do that because I'd be in jail.
But what's funny about that is local to where I live now, soccer team. It was a boys soccer team. I forget what the age group, but they weren't like young. I mean, they were probably like 16, 17.
Yeah.
They went to Amsterdam for a soccer tournament, and the coaches took them to the red light district, which in Amsterdam at the age they were at was legal.
Prostitution is legal.
Correct. So they didn't do anything illegal in
For
Amsterdam,
Amsterdam.
but for here, and one of the guys ended up offing
Wait,
himself.
so how old were these kids?
They were like 17, 18. They were.
So in Amsterdam, it's legal at 17 to hire a prostitute.
I think so. Whatever
But in
it
the
was,
US, I
or
guess
maybe
it's not legal.
or maybe it was a strip. Wherever they went, it was someplace sex worker related. And the parents here had a big problem with it. And one of the guys ended up unaliving himself because they were investigating him, and and he ended up unaliving because of it, which is fucked up.
I mean, but in a way, if it was legal there, it was legal. I don't know how I feel about this, because I feel like if they're frustrated and they need to fulfill a need and it's legal, I just don't see what all the fuss is about. But
I mean, it's not like the coach was like, molesting the
like
kids.
The coach
it was
like, hey, I'm not gonna put you in, and I'm gonna bet you unless you sleep with me. Like,
yeah,
it's
it
not
was
like he was using sexual favors.
Exactly. So, which I mean, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Where do you want to be in not just where do you want to live, but where in your life and career arc, where do you want to be in 5 years? What's your 5-year goal?
In 5 years, all I can think about is that I hope we never hear about COVID again or vaccines. That's all I can really think about right now.
Amen.
But I hope that in 5 years I can tie my shoes and blow bubbles. That's all I can really hope for.
Wait. Who's Bubbles?
Like bubble gum. I just hope I can.
Oh, well, you said you were going to blow bubbles.
And I can't tie my shoes. So I'm hoping in 5 years I can do that.
There you go.
No, I hope to expand my business to other areas, and I guess I'd maybe like to have like my own facility rather than traveling from court to court. I think that's where I'd like to be in terms of comedy. I mean, where I'm at now, I have nowhere to go but up. So
Me
probably
too.
anything I get in 5 years is bound to be better than what I have now. Like,
see, you know where I want to see you in 5 years? I want to see you coaching the next US Open champion. That's what I want to see.
I'm always looking for that. But when you talk about going, so the first year I ever coached tennis, I worked with this 6-year-old named Cannon Kingsley. And he ended up becoming the #1 ranked kid in the 18 and unders.
Wow.
In the whole of the US. And he got to the quarterfinals, I think, of the Australian Open Juniors and the semis of the US Open Juniors. And that was the first year I was ever coaching that I worked with him. So I'm always looking for the next Cannon Kingsley. But
okay.
I feel like it's like I did my best work when I didn't even really know what I was doing.
That's funny. Now, what's interesting about coaching, I coached football for a while.
Yeah.
And, younger kids. And the kids that I coach then are now becoming seniors in high school.
Right.
And seeing, I'm obviously not going to take credit for these kids' success. But it's awesome to see kids that I coached at a very young age. We're talking like 10 years old. I was coaching.
Yeah.
They were 10. I was older. But seeing them now going on to play college and doing well and being successful at the high school level and beyond, it's really cool to see that. And I'd like to say, oh yeah, I'm a part of that because I help. But the thing, I'm not the kind of person that's going to be like, yeah, that's fucking me. No, these kids had other coaches, they had their parents supporting them, and I may have put a little bit of foundation, but
to build something like that, it really does take a village, and so
absolutely
many things have an impact on someone's success like that.
Absolutely. So that's cool. I gotta answer this. Where do I see myself in 5 years? I don't know, probably dead. I don't know. Nah, hopefully being more successful doing the same bullshit I'm doing now. Number 9. Who has been your biggest inspiration, be it with comedy, with tennis, in life in general? Who has inspired you?
I'm not sure.
You could just say me. I mean, come on.
I mean, that's
I'm just
true.
kidding.
You're an inspiration after
Nah.
all. I mean, everyone is inspiring in their own way. I guess, like, um, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's the whole
I'm
thing of it
trying
takes
to
a
think,
village.
like, in a way, like I really admire like I said, everybody has different things about them that make them admirable, I think.
Correct.
Like, I don't
I,
want to say anyone's a big inspiration, but I honestly admire anyone that can get through their day because we live in such a tough world that anybody who's managing to get through their day, I pretty much applaud.
okay. I get that. My biggest inspiration in life has been my father, who passed away in 2011.
Sorry to
But
hear that.
oh, it happens. I mean, my father was a great man, the smartest person I've ever met. And it's weird. Like I try to look at where my father was when he was my age, like where he was at in life. And I have a lot to build up to, but my father was one of the most supportive, just, he was a great dad. I mean, he's the guy I looked up to, still look up to. Number 10, if you could take a time machine back to when you were 18 years old and give your younger self some advice,
Oh
what
dear.
would that advice be?
To marry your high school boyfriend.
Why, is he a doctor now?
He his family owns like one of the biggest limo companies in Long Island.
And on Long
Um,
Island, that's a good business.
Classic coach, yeah.
Oh, I know that company.
Yeah, that's his family's company, but I guess it's just so hard to like meet people that I would say you should, I don't know. I guess I think people just make life too hard for themselves, is where I'm going with that. Not just
Okay.
meeting people, but I feel like people just overall make things more complicated for themselves. So that would be the advice I'd give myself.
Okay. The advice I would give myself is work harder than you did. Don't be a lazy fuck. Work harder.
That's
Which is what
also good.
which is what I tell my son all the time. He's a fucking lazy
Is he
bastard.
listening to this?
No. Well, is he listening to the show? Probably not. He's probably at his computer in the other room, calling his friends bad names and telling them to go fuck themselves. And my
So he's
daughter is
definitely
probably
not
doing
listening to that advice.
and my daughter's probably doing the same thing in her bedroom. My kids are psycho, and I love them. My kids partly scare the shit out of me and completely impress me at the same time because they're psychopaths, and I love it. Okay. This is a deep, deep question. You ready for it?
Sure.
Dogs or cats?
Now that's tough. I think dogs are better. I
Okay, I
feel
agree.
like dogs love us and cats really hate us.
Okay, kittens, little baby cats, absolutely fucking adorable, but they
That's
grow up to be assholes. So I'm gonna say I prefer dogs over cats because dogs you can play with a dog, like you throw the ball, you catch it, brings it back, you throw it again. But I don't have any pets because I don't take shit from humans. I'm not going to take shit from an animal. So ultimately, my answer to this question is it depends on how they're cooked, but I do love Chinese food. That's my answer. Okay, number 12. This one I'm interested to get your answer on because you've traveled and been around a lot in your youth. But what is the thing that brings you the most nostalgia to your youth, back to your youth? They say that the sense of smell is one of the strongest senses tied to memory. So I'll actually give you my answer before yours, not to be rude, but just to give you an example. To me, watermelon brings me back to summer barbecues with the family
Yeah.
and just being a kid and carefree and happy and going in the pool and having barbecues but watermelon is the biggest thing that sends me back to that happy place in my childhood.
I don't know. I remember some different toys, I think.
Okay.
Like that cricket doll that could talk. And I remember like blocks. And I guess that's what I remember. And just how anything was possible when you played with toys. It was like a fantasy world.
The imagination has no
Yeah.
limits. Okay, that's cool. Um, this is a good one. Number 13. If you were given a free pass, I don't know if you have a significant other now. Do you have a significant other now?
No, only
Okay.
hopefuls.
Okay. So the free pass doesn't really apply. But if you had the opportunity to have relations of the biblical sense with anyone, any celebrity, Hollywood person, famous person, basically, if you could fuck a famous person
And
and they
get
would have
away
to
with it.
and they would have to be a willing participant. So no using chloroform or roofies. Don't be like Bill Cosby. But if you could, like, you could pick and who would be the person that you would hook up with?
And it's a celebrity? Gosh, I hadn't even thought of that. I don't know. I think about Pete Sampras. I guess I admire
Of
his
course,
tennis
somebody in
game.
tennis.
I don't know. I hadn't thought about it much because I don't know. But I
That's all right.
hear people do have that. Like some couples have that where they're like, well, if one celebrity is willing to fuck you, that's not considered cheating. But I mean, obviously they have that because I mean, who would think that a celebrity would fuck a regular person? But
Well,
I
well, I
suppose
mean,
it does happen.
it does, but again, this is in a hypothetical sense. Um, now I have two answers for this. One would be to go back in time, because to do it now would be necrophilia, and that's generally frowned upon. But Marilyn Monroe, if I could go
Yeah.
back in a time machine, Marilyn Monroe. Modern day alive, I'm gonna go with my girl Britney Spears, because why not?
Why not?
Why not? You know, she's ridden in the back of my car.
She has.
That is a fact. Britney Spears has ridden in the back of my Jeep. That's a long story. We'll tell that some other time. Number 14. I'm a big car guy. I love automobiles of all kinds, unless they are Toyota Priuses. But what was your first? This is a two-part question. What was your first car? And then if you could, what's your your dream car if you have one?
My first car was a Ford Taurus.
Nice.
Dream car. I mean, I used to secret shop cars. So I
Okay.
took different cars and I really like how an Audi drives.
Okay. They are fantastic automobiles. A fun fact about Audis. Are you familiar with the Cannonball Run? Do you know what the Cannonball Run is?
Kind of.
Okay, it was a movie back in the early 80s,
Right?
but it's actually something that people participate in driving from New York to Los Angeles. And the current record-holding vehicle is an Audi.
Nice.
It has the fastest time cross-country, which is, I forget what the exact time is, but it's roughly 25 hours from the Red Bull garage to the Portofino Inn. But what? So your dream car is the Audi. My first car was a 1988 Dodge Caravan, blue with the fucking wood grain sticker on the side. Had a lot of good times in that car. But my dream car is a C4 Corvette. So a Corvette between 1984 and 1996. I love C4 Corvettes. I almost bought one during COVID, and COVID fucked it up. I don't know if I could fit in it, but I almost got one. Number 15. So now I have to change this up because you have dual careers with your with the tennis and with comedy.
Yeah.
But what if you could have, if those two careers didn't pan out and you could choose a third career that you could be successful, what would your third alternate career be?
I think I'd be a stylist.
Okay. You
Or
are you are quite
photographer.
fashionable.
Or a fashion photographer, I think.
Okay. Two things. One, you are very fashionable. And two, I've seen a lot of the pictures you've taken because you post a lot of pictures you take in your travel, and you take excellent photographs.
Yeah, well, photography is great because it has nothing to do with humans.
You know what? Well, it doesn't have, not that doesn't have anything to do with humans, because in a lot of your pictures, you catch, you take pictures, there's people in your pictures.
Yeah, it's true. There are people in the pictures, but you don't have to like interact with people.
True, but you're capturing a moment of real life. It's
Absolutely.
not posed. They're
That's
not
what's so
posing for the
rewarding about
pictures.
it.
You're capturing a moment in yours and that person's, even if they don't know that that picture exists, you're capturing that moment in time. And that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. So I dig it. I could dig it. Number 16. What is your most unpopular opinion? The opinion you hold that most people will think you're fucking out of your mind.
Um, I think people always think I'm out of my mind,
A
but
little
I
bit.
guess I think that like first of all, almost everything people say is complete bullshit. Um, but
Preach,
when people
sister.
are like, "Oh, it's only one guy. It doesn't matter. There will be other guys." I don't agree with that. Like, I, yeah, that opinion that there are so many people that'll be a good fit for you, I don't think that's true. I think there's only like 7 people out there that are going to be a good fit for you in the whole world. People probably don't agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't think anybody agrees with that. I think most people don't agree with that. But I mean, it's not that controversial. Also, I think you should make yourself suffer. And I don't think most people would agree with that either.
Are you Jewish or Catholic?
My mother is Jewish. My father was Protestant, so I'm a JASP.
Okay.
That's what I call myself, but I'm really irreligious.
Okay. Yeah, the suffering part is a Catholic thing. They
Yeah,
like
but
to
it's
suffer.
also a Jewish thing. I think
Yeah.
all religions are about suffering and hating each other.
Or themselves, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
My unpopular opinion is that Bon Jovi sucks. Fuck Bon
Oh,
Jovi.
wow.
Yeah, I'm really strong
That's
on that
really
one.
going out on a limb.
Yeah, I can't stand Bon Jovi. Like if it pops on the radio, I change the station.
Yeah.
Always have been. I have zero reason, aside from I really don't care for their music, but I have no reason to hate John Bon Jovi, but I do. I wish him well though.
You wish him well, but you just hate his music.
Exactly. So number 17, what is the one food that you completely despise? You don't want it near you. No one has ever prepared it to a way you would like it. You fucking hate tuna, really?
Yeah, tuna is terrible. And my grandfather would always be like, "You want some tuna fish?" When I would stay with him in the summers, and he'd keep asking me about tuna fish. And I was like, "Bleh." Like, seriously, I'd have to be really hungry and not have a way of getting any other food for me to consume tuna ever.
Wow. Like
Yeah.
now, is that specifically canned tuna?
It,
Or any tuna, like a fresh, seared
like a
tuna
tuna fish
steak?
you caught. I think, yeah, any kind of tuna, I'm not going to touch it.
Okay. Now, what's funny is I love a tuna sandwich. Love it.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For me, there are only 4 foods I don't eat ever. But the one
Yeah.
food that I have never had that I like it, I fucking hate it, get it away from me, is liver. I
Yeah,
will not
it's
eat
pretty
liver.
gross, liver.
Yep, but liver, canned beets, I can't stand canned beets. And then there are 2 foods that I will not eat, and these are the only 2 foods I won't eat for moral reasons. Well, one is foie gras. You know what foie gras is?
Yeah.
It's goose liver.
Ugh.
So A, it's liver, but B, the way they feed the geese to fatten their livers up, they force feed the geese. Because geese don't have a gag reflex, so they can basically just use a syringe and pump food into their bellies to make them fat.
Ugh.
So for moral reasons, I will not eat foie gras and veal. I won't eat veal.
My grandmother made a lot of veal when I was growing up.
Yeah, I mean, veal was popular back then because it was, expensive and considered fancy, but because the way the calves are treated to get veal, I for moral reasons, I won't eat it.
Got ya.
So I do see. I'm not a complete scumbag,
See, so you're
people,
a humane person. Yeah, you're a good person.
but I'll say like fucking nuke all the people, but save the baby cows.
Yeah, because they won't talk back to you. So, and
Exactly.
again, simpler needs.
All right, number 18. When you go to a bar, what is your typical bar or what is your go-to drink?
I like Red Bulls. I just have Red Bulls all the time. I don't drink alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to have like Cosmos when I did drink, and like wine coolers I would have. So I'm a real lightweight.
That's okay.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is when I'm out at bars, typically I don't drink when I'm out because I'm deathly afraid of getting a DWI, like petrified to get a
that's
DWI.
gonna cost you a lot of money and could mean jail time and not driving. So
And could cost me my job and a lot of other things in life. So when I go out, when I'm working, when I'm doing comedy, I don't drink. And what was funny was I did a guest spot back at Dangerfields when Dangerfield was open. And, I didn't get paid because it was a guest spot, but it was open bar. And the bartender says, what do you have? I said,
what you like, right?
well, I'm like, can I have a Diet Coke? Like, I'm a big fucking dude and I'm ordering a Diet. He's like, it's an open bar. You can have anything you want. I'm like, yeah, but I got to drive home later and I don't like drinking when I'm driving. So Diet Coke, please. But my typical go-to drink at a bar is either a Bud Light or a Jack and Coke. But if it's a fancy place, I'll order an old fashioned.
Yeah.
I like bourbon. All right, 19. Question 19. This will determine whether or not we could be friends any longer.
Oh no.
iPhone or Android?
I've never had an Android, but you have an Android.
Yeah, you're an iPhone girl.
I've had iPhones the last time I didn't have an iPhone was 2010 when Blackberries were a thing. And now Blackberries belong in a museum.
I don't know if we could be friends anymore, Esther.
You're an Android
I just don't know. Oh yeah, I'm hardcore Android.
But I'm kind of open. Like I could become an Android user too.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'm it's one of those stupid questions. Like I'm hardcore Android for a couple of different reasons. One, I don't like change. So the first smartphone I had was Android. I'm sticking with Android. Two, I think
smart. Now you gotta stick with what you know.
Yeah. Two, I think Steve Jobs was an asshole, so fuck him. And the third reason is like that's the cool phone to have, so I got to be the uncool guy intentionally. So
always a good thing. See, people will still stick with you even if you're not an iPhone person.
Yeah. Now what's interesting is
now you're a mystery because when you send people text messages, iPhone to iPhone, you can see if it was read. But since you're an Android user, you can always be reading people's messages and they won't know that you're blowing them off. So
yep. Now I just got a new Android. I got the new fancy Samsung Galaxy phone. So for the longest time, my old phone that I had, like how on iPhone you can like messages and react to messages.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody would react, if I texted somebody with an iPhone, because everybody in my family has iPhones except for me. They would react. It would send me a text message saying, so and so liked your message, but it would say so and so liked, and it would put my whole fucking message in there. Now I can't react to messages, but now when somebody reacts to one of mine, it just puts the heart on the message. Maybe I can react to it, and I just don't know how or don't give a shit.
Here.
Yeah, well, that's all right. It's not really a feature I really give a shit about.
I mean, what does it really mean? It's so easy to react to a message that what does it really mean if someone reacts to a message?
Exactly. All right. And the final question number 20. What is the most weird, crazy, bizarre, would shock people to know fact about you?
Because I already said I'm from London, right?
Yes.
I I already said the thing about living in Australia. I'm
Correct.
trying to think what else. I I don't know if this is bizarre or not. I said I've been to the Bloomberg Mansion. I
Oh.
was I went to a mommy and me group with Bloomberg's daughter, Emma Bloomberg.
Okay.
And I was invited to her birthday party. And my
So this is
mom
when you
bought
were
a
a kid?
gift for Emma. My mom bought a gift for Emma, and she said that the favors that they gave out at the party to every guest were more expensive than the gifts she bought. So yeah, I guess that's why I always so I did. There's that. Also, Brian Gumbel, who is the host of Good Morning America, I went to school with his son before we moved out to Long Island.
Okay.
And Dustin Hoffman, when we
Wow.
went to services at Central Synagogue, there was Dustin Hoffman. And my sister told him that his daughter seemed really upset and he needed to calm his daughter down.
That's funny.
And Brian Gumbel's kid, Brian Gumbel's son, came to our house. His name was Bradley. And my mom said to Bradley, "What would you like to drink?" And he said a gin and tonic.
Oh, that's
at
awesome.
6 years old.
Oh, that's awesome. Did she give him a gin and tonic?
Yeah, right. That you might as
Um,
well get the kids, to tolerate it at a young age.
Yep. That's funny. So I guess the weird, bizarre fact about me would be that I have taught self-defense classes to sex workers. I've taught
Right, you
I've
said,
taught
yeah.
I've taught hookers how to fight
But
and
they
how to
need
defend
to.
themselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just a weird, bizarre fact about me from a previous life I
That's kind
lived.
of cool.
Yeah. So that was the 20 questions. 20 questions with
Yay!
Esther
I made
Forrester.
it through. Those are pretty easy.
Thank you. I didn't want to make them too hard because I mean you're very smart, but some of these people I interview, they might be a little less smart. So I got to keep it
Yeah,
simple.
and also some questions though are hard to answer. Like if you're, I don't know, like if someone says to you, like, "Why don't you like me?" It's hard to really give them the true answer.
Oh, no. You should give them the true answer. It's because you're a fucking asshole. That's why I don't like you. Now fuck off. So we're getting down to wrapping up. We got about 12 minutes to go. So Esther, do you have any shows coming up?
I am producing this show. It's at First Cup Coffee in the Atlantic Highlands in Jersey on Sunday. And I am also trying to, like, every week I put a couple of pictures up of either meals or outfits or like real estate, and I have people guess the price. And I'm hoping to make that a live show where we do it live online. So I'm
Okay.
hoping to really make that a regular thing. I feel I've mastered, like, once I have the technology all mastered, I'm sure it's going to go smoothly. I'll start making the prices right live, where people come on my show who've won the contest on Facebook and guess the price most accurately. I'll have them come on the live show and guess the price of different things. So I'm hoping that goes well.
I have seen your posts. So where would they find you? So your social media ads?
It'll go live to Facebook, those shows.
Okay.
But people can find me on MySpace if they really want to find me.
Wait, did you just say MySpace?
Yeah.
What? Hang on. Here's what's fucking weird about that is me and my son had a conversation about MySpace today. Like,
really?
Today. Oh yeah. I forget. I forget even how it came up, but Tom Anderson, everyone's first friend. Everybody remembers Tom sitting in the chair looking back. So Tom, he gave us the opportunity to put a profile song. We could even customize our profiles if we knew how to tweak the code. so we could put colors and graphics and
I
stuff on
remember,
there.
and all the wallpaper that was on MySpace.
Yep, and you could pick your
MySpace really was more about music.
yeah, but still, it was great. You know, it was you could do a lot of the shit you could still do on Facebook now. But you could choose your top 8 friends or top 6 friends, whatever the hell it was, and
too.
and you'd pick somebody and not pick someone else, and that person you didn't pick gets
then
pissed off.
Suck.
But Tom gave us all of that. He never banned us, never encroached on free speech.
That's true.
And we fucking turned our backs on him.
I know, right? He was offering us the world, and we're like, yeah, we'll go to Facebook. And Facebook, basically, you get blocked, you get banned. It causes lots of mental breakdowns when someone doesn't like your post. Like, if we were all still on MySpace, who knows? The world might be a happier place.
Absolutely, because MySpace was about fun. It wasn't about controlling the population's thoughts.
Because I feel it's true. You always saw people's cool music and their cool wallpaper. And now you go onto Facebook and all you see are arguments.
Yeah. Arguments or bad information. Hell, one of my friends was posted. What the hell did he post? He posted a thing about a store down here that has a fresh bakery and they make really good stuff. A place called Detweiler's. And he was talking about how, if he meant to write, if you live in the vicinity of a Detweiler's, Detweiler's is the name of the store. And he spelled vicinity wrong. He spelled it VACINITY. So that's it. But because it's close to the word vaccine, on his post about fucking muffins from Detweiler's, it put a fucking disclaimer, like a COVID-19 vaccination disclaimer.
Yeah.
Because he misspelled the word vicinity.
Vaccines at all, I think it automatically puts that there.
Yeah. So by fucking stupid stuff. So that's what Facebook. That's how.
And
Facebook
then that probably started a whole big fight, and everybody has an opinion on vaccines and
whatever. So realistically, on social media, where can people find you?
Well, my Facebook, I'm Esme4. Instagram, NY Trekker. And TikTok is S Makes You Laugh.
That is true. You do make us laugh.
So those are the places people can find me, realistically. Yeah.
Nice. Are you still on MySpace, though?
No, I think there are no MySpaces, but every time I end my comedy sets, I say, you guys have been great. You can find me on MySpace.
Nice. By the way, MySpace does still exist.
It does.
I haven't logged into mine in a while. I logged into mine a few years ago. I figured out which email address I used and logged back into it, and it was kind of cool to see. A lot of the pictures were gone, but it was still kind of cool.
So there is still MySpace. Wow.
There still is there is MySpace. You can go and check it out. Maybe make another profile.
Yay!
Now, Brainiac Tennis. If people live up in the New York metropolitan area or around the New York, New Jersey, if people wanted to send their kids, or do you just teach kids, or is it kids, adults, anybody?
Adults as well.
Okay.
And they can just go to brainiactennis.com, or Brainiac Tennis is the Facebook page, and there's a Brainiac Tennis Instagram if they want to find out more.
So could you teach me how to play tennis?
Why not?
Okay, what if I don't want to actually play tennis? I just want to run around in one of them cute little skirts. Can I do that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to see that. No, nobody. So, thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure. And again, thanks for jumping in short notice. Again, Jay Christopher.
This one made my day. Are you kidding?
That's good. I'm glad I was able to bring a little cheer to your life today. I had a feeling you needed to vent a little bit.
Well, thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. As far as me, you could find me on now it's my turn to talk about me. You can keep looking at Esther, but listen to me, okay? People. As far as me, you can find me on all social media at Real Roger Nelson. Don't listen to the fake Roger Nelson. That guy's an asshole. Also, please follow my cooking channel on YouTube. It is Sugar, Salt, Fat, and Booze It's the 4 major food groups. So check that out. I got a lot of really good recipes, a little bit of humor thrown in. Esther, if you, what is the parting words that you, what is the one thing you want to tell everybody right now? Say to the world, what do you want to tell the world right now?
Do watch the World Series. The World Series, and don't worry about anything else. Just watch the World Series. Don't worry too much.
Okay, so now I got to ask, because I don't really who's playing in the World Series.
I don't even know, but I just feel it's a distraction.
I know it's not the Mets. That's all I know, is it's not the Mets.
But let's hope it's the Yankees to make New Yorkers happy for once. Let's hope the Yanks make it.
Well, it depends on whether or not they bought the championship this year. I don't think they did. You know what's funny? So I live in Tampa, or just outside of Tampa, and Tampa is where the Yankees spring training is. And Derek Jeter has a big house here, or had a big house here. He sold it. They're actually gonna tear that house down. That big fucking giant mansion that he built on Harbor Island or Davis Island. They're gonna tear it down. They're gonna tear the house down to subdivide it. But anyway, I am proud to be a Mets fan, and I threw trash over his fence onto Jeter's lawn, and I threw trash onto George Steinbrenner's lawn. So
wow,
that's
yes,
damn the man. Have my empty soda cup, which is, it's really shitty to do that, but whatever. But so again, thank you so much for coming on, especially on short notice.
This was amazing.
Jay is a phenomenal human being. We'll have him on again soon. So got your comedy show. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm gonna
thank you for having me on.
I can't be the best because you are the best.
Oh, now
how about that? Thank you. So to wrap up and sum up to the people, just want to let everybody know this show is going to be live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, on IRN, the Internet Radio Network. You can check that out at irnbroadcast.com. I think that's the website. Give me 1 second before I yeah, it's irnbroadcast.com. That's Internet Radio Network broadcast.com. It's also live on the YouTube. So please, if you can, subscribe to the channel. One of the biggest things is being able to interact with everybody, and you can comment. I can see your comments and give feedback. So please check that out, because that's a good time. Everybody, I love you from the bottom of my cold black heart. I don't have a heart. Thank everybody for watching. Again, that's that. So thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Esther, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself. Don't be a stranger. Just be strange, but don't be a stranger. All right.
Thanks.
I'll talk to you soon. You take care of yourself, hon.
You too.